The Squids have a new sub-faction, the Appropriators, with 2 war mechs and a variant of the Watcher drone, the Snitchbot 9000. I'll be going over what they can do, and then give y'all a tentative tier list of the best and some of the worst things against them. Vericator, the melee Jondelier that has 4 attacks. If it's next to you, it tends to spam a basic swipe that if it connects, does moderate damage and knocks you to the ground, or it yard sells you into Narnia. When you're far from a melee Jondelier, it'll try and close the distance, doing either a single arm low sweeping charge, in which case it's trying to hit you if you're standing up or crouched, and to avoid the damage, you do a Looney Tunes maneuver of simply laying down. When shooting at it, it tends to do a Ramacha block to shield the pilot, and it can go into a charge from that form. Solo Shake, double-fisted slam that can one-shot you in heavy armor with Vitality Booster. It sounds a bit scary, but don't worry. It's pretty inaccurate and does not land very often. When it does, though, I find it quite hilarious. Our in-house audits outline the important weak points for the melee Jondelier. The bubble and the pilot's body are light pin. The upper portion of the front 2 legs and arms are also light pin. The head of the mech is medium pin. Once broken, the pilot's shield goes away, and the pilot's head is medium pin. Bit tankier than usual, though, from what I can tell. You have the blue little glowing bits on the forearms, both front and back, and on the back of the cockpit. These are all light pin. The very back leg is entirely medium pin. Gatekeeper, the ranged Jondelier, and it takes that name seriously. It'll backpedal against players to maintain distance and unleash cannon blast attacks of 2 varieties. The double snapper shot. You'll hear a higher pitched sound, and it revs up both cannon arms for a single shot from each, which if they both connect, you're dead, and I'm fairly certain any armor the game has to offer. The other attack is the Holy Spirit Barrage. You'll hear a lower pitched sound, and then it steps on its left foot, don't forget it, and revs up both cannon arms to shoot you a lot, and it blinds you. The third and final attack is a simple melee elbow. If you're too close, it'll throw it. It does a lot less damage than the Vericator, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Gatekeeper's weak points are a bit more demanding in most cases. Light penetration for the blue cylinders on the weapon, the bubble, the pilot's body armor, and the rear cockpit blue panel. The rest of it is majority heavy ablative armor. Once removed, reveals medium armor. The only exception to that are the hip joints that are medium armor. But those things are evasive. They're very difficult to see from the front. Obtruder, a smaller variant of the Snitchbot 9000, the one that can call reinforcements for the Squids. This one can't do that. Instead, it shoots a small blue projectile, dealing pretty low damage, and its body is a vessel for destruction once it's killed. It can drop and damage other obtruders near it, making them one-shot to ARs, whereas normally it takes 3 to 4 bullets to kill them. It can also somehow get yeeted into oblivion, or any nearby dropships for Illuminate, breaking them instantly even through their shields, landing on war machines or getting sent into them and destroying them instantly, or killing Helldivers. So if you wonder why you died to nothing, it seems like, chances are one of these guys hit you with their bodies after they died from Narnia. A few additional things to know about Jondeliers. If you break both the arms, they die. Destroy one leg, they also die. And they have 100% explosive immunity for essentially every body part, making it to where they can survive a direct hit from a leveler like it's nothing. Both Overseers piloting the Jondeliers have more HP than a regular Overseer, to the point they can survive an AMR headshot from not that far away, and they take a lot more rounds to the chest. And I do believe the Gatekeeper is even tankier than the Vericator. That being said, you're still way better off going for the pilot 9 times out of 10. When the shield is active, you have the unique ability of shooting it and applying the fire dot from Coyote and the arc thrower stun build-up, which is kinda awesome. And breaking the shield either through the horn or directly will stagger it, unless it's charging. This leads us into ranking the best and some of the worst weapons against Jondeliers. We'll just get things started with the best one, arc thrower, which is strange to say because this channel, the owner, doesn't like that weapon that much for good reason. But in this case, the auto-targeting goes for the head of the Overseer, which is quite easy to hit because it's actually quite massive. It's in the center, it's off the ground, things don't block the shot. After 3 hits, you stun a Jondelier, and the arc thrower chains. With the upgraded ship module, you can hit multiple, I think up to 4, so you're applying stun to potentially 4 enemies after 3 shots. And it only takes 3 hits to kill a pilot. That's kind of insane. All the while, you don't have to really aim it. In the game where the pace is increasing and they make it very annoying to hit your shots with mini weapons, especially if you're moving, and in this case you're getting chased down by the freaking Ram Ranch enthusiasts, it's kind of ideal to have a weapon that aims for you a little bit, which is sad to say, but it is what it is. Speaking of things that aim for you, Guard Dog is S tier. It domes the pallets for Gondoliers with ferocious precision. Canine Guard Dog. The coolest thing about it is you can kill 9, if not more, obtruders in a single arc, and I love the way it assists you when you're using Arc Thrower in applying extra CC or stun to Gondoliers, Harvesters, and even being able to kill them. The major issue is that it can also delete your hombreros, your fellow Helldivers. I think it's B tier. Eruptor is S tier. You can one-shot the pallet for Vericator by simply shooting into the cockpit. I believe the shrapnel is what's doing the brunt of the work here at least. And the same thing may apply to the Gatekeeper, but either way, just shoot the cockpit, shoot below it, just hit anywhere on that enemy, and the shrapnel is hitting various parts and just putting in some unforeseen work. I also like it with the laser cannon, which laser cannon is going to be B tier. It's a cool gun. You can go for headshots on overseers, which is alright, I suppose. Light obtruders on fire in a decently fast time frame. But it's got horrible durable damage, which is rough on the Gondoliers. Honestly, the thing I like it the most for is breaking horns on Harvesters and killing those guys. And even then, it's okay. War Ant, the auto-aiming pistol. Folks try to tell me it can one-shot obtruders, which is only true if they're already weak. Otherwise, it takes 2 or 3 bullets, which is going to be the status quo for most ARs and whatnot that do its same damage. The claim to fame for this weapon is the fact you can dispatch of the Gondoliers rapidly. 1 magazine for the melee Gondoliers if they aren't shielded or blocking themselves with their arms. And you do it so fast that at the moment they unblock, they're basically dead. For the ranged Gondoliers, it takes a magazine and some change. Could be the drag, if it even gets affected by drag. But honestly, I still believe those guys are just tankier than usual. Warrant is S tier. Maxi gun. Just aim for the pilot. If it's shielded, you break it and shred them anyway. If they're blocking on the Vericator with their double arms, you can destroy those because you have medium pen. And you fire so fast, it just feels pretty freaking good. The only kind of downside is you're stationary, so if you have too many things rushing at one time, you have to run. But if a Gatekeeper is trying to wind up a barrage and shoot you, you can kill it before it really fires anything, which is awesome. This thing is S tier. E-Man Exosuit is great for Gondoliers, breaking their limbs in roughly 6 to 8 shots. You stagger Harvesters and kill them to the joint in roughly 6 shots. That's all well and dandy. You do got to worry about your freaking tinfoil layer armor from Temu that makes the mech so gosh darn vulnerable to damage. The Gatekeeper barrage will freaking destroy the mech in 1 volley. Harvesters can beam off your arm in roughly half a second, destroy the entire mech in roughly 1.5 seconds. If you have a decent bit of terrain to block your shots and whatnot and play your corners like some folks make a living on, it's kind of nice. I would say E-Man is B tier. The Patriot Exosuit, the rocket arm is a bit inconsistent and cattywampus, but you can one-shot joint for Harvesters. It takes 2 rockets to break a leg on each Gondolier, and the minigun does okay. It seems to be a bit worse than the maxi gun. The main thing, though, is you can't do well against Harvesters 9 times out of 10. If you don't one-shot it, it's going to beam you, and if it beams you for any time at all, your mech is on its last leg. I put this in C tier. Double-edged sickle. It's a ton of investment for not a whole lot of return, considering you don't have high durable damage, and Vericators are in droves, shielding themselves with their arms that you can't break fast. If Pilot's free game, there's no shield, no nothing, they die fairly quick, but you do have 20-20 spread, making your shots miss more often than they should. You're investing in heavy fire resist armor and supply backpack. I like this gun. It's C tier on this sub-faction. Arc Grenade. It can kill Vericators in 2 discharges, sometimes. Gatekeepers, I have no idea. It can take out Harvesters fairly easily, but be warned that the shields can block the arc damage. So if you have the Hubba Bubba Huddle, where multiple Harvesters are holding the hand singing Kumbaya, they make it a lot, pretty much useless, honestly. So either break the shields or don't toss it in. Or gamble. Choice is yours. I like it a lot, but it does move when you throw it, bounce it around, and that can get you a lot less value. You also have the major downside, it's almost unforgivable, of your kills not being counted with the grenade. It doesn't show you what it killed, it just kills them. And that is sacrilegious. It's been broken since it came out. I think it's B tier for this faction. Gatling Sentry. Imagine the maxi gun, but it doesn't miss. S tier without a doubt. The fast fire rate is what makes it so ideal because it can kill things quickly before they can reach it in most cases. If there's too many dudes, they're gonna get to it unless you assist it. That's just how it goes. The machine gun sentry, while be it good, the slow fire rate holds it back just a little bit. I put it in A tier because it's still a great thing to have for handling a bunch of the random chaff that pops up. HMG emplacement obliterates everything on the appropriator subfaction. You take out gatekeeper limbs quick, fast, in a hurry. You break one leg, it dies. Break two arms, it dies. Harvesters, you can destroy the limb, which from distance can be a bit tricky, but you have so much stability when firing it. You have a fast turn rate, tons of ammo. It can do great on the chaff. It's easily S tier. Now, conversely, the anti-tank emplacement is B tier, because you don't have anywhere near as much versatility on the various enemies you're facing, and it takes 2 shots regardless of the Gondolier, which is a pretty hefty investment. Cremator is B tier. It's very fun to immolate a bunch of Gondoliers if they're somewhat close to you, but there's the ranged Gondolier you can't get to most of the time, the flying overseers that are usually out of reach, and harvesters that you can kill from a safe distance sometimes, but their arc range seems to be a little bit larger these days. Railgun, 1 headshot to any pilot kills every Gondolier instantly, works from any distance. It can also destroy the upper arm for Barricader in around an 80% charge shot, which is well and dandy, but the more I played it, I realized this subfaction does not reward this style of weapon, because you have Barricaders sprinting through each other, so your initial target is now in the back of the crowd, and now you're on a new one, having to invest a decent bit of time, because if they're shielded, it's rough. If they got their arms blocking, it's rough. Railgun is C tier. The AMR is even worse. D tier, because it takes 2 shots for Barricader heads, 3 for the Gatekeeper, with the abysmal ergo while trying to sprint away from the enemies that are charging after you, and all the ranged mobs that are trying to gun you down as well. Stalwart is tentatively A tier. It's got really good accuracy, making it pretty simple to kill the pilots from any distance. You can take out Overseers easily. The one thing you can't do very well actually at all, is kill Harvesters. Variable. In Ultimate mode, you can one-shot the limbs on Barricader if it's close enough, within roughly 15 meters, which is cool, but that's a very short distance, and you're wasting all your ammo, and you have to be laying down, because trying to dive hit that shot is rough to do. It's also very lackluster on the Obtruders, given the extra drag on your shots after the aforementioned 15-meter range. F tier. Gatling Barrage. If it was White Gold Winter, this is Pumpkin Spice. It's in a lot of folks' loadouts on top of Napalm Barrage. And I don't see the vision particularly. It kills stuff if they stay around long enough in the shrapnel being rained down from the heavens, which oftentimes they don't seem to do that. And I'm noticing the insanely steep angle it comes in at as a major downside. Also, dropships tend to block a bunch of the damage, so it gives them time to move. I'm going to say C tier. Bastion Tank Destroyer. The cannon one-shots any of Barricader's legs, killing it instantly. For the Gatekeeper, they have a blade of armor, so instead, use the HMG Quaxo machine gun and kill it that way. If the pilot's open and not shielded, it's such a fast time to kill, it's crazy. It's an awesome stratagem. The main issue is the papier-mâché armor. You'll come to find out just how fast it dies when a Harvester is left unchecked. And that's easy to happen considering how far they can beam away at you from, and the number that they're spawning at right now. It is bring your Harvester to OhDough's mission to blow up his tank day. It's freaking brutal. You also want to make sure you have a pilot or a gunner, and I play with randoms like most folks do. It's difficult to find those. Very difficult. They essentially have a sign up before you drop the tank. Make sure they're in attendance, otherwise the tank's on its last limb before anyone goes, I'll do it. It's C tier. One True Flag has a new AoE taunt by simply waving it around, which is done by holding the reload button. In doing so, you'll attract enemy attention, and it works pretty good unless there's sentry turrets on the battlefield, in which case enemies target those first, even from a pretty good distance. Now, it does seem to attract aggro over the Exospire, which also is kind of like a monkey bomb. It makes enemies want to break it, so it can help you mitigate that kind of stuff. Using the medium pin, you can destroy a Barricader's leg in roughly 11 hits and stagger it, or stun it kind of, after 6. Which is okay. Mind you, I'm not using the melee armor because it's sacrilegious. That's all well and dandy. You still have the flag, and you're kind of putting up air. While I appreciate the new effect, I still believe it is D tier. I'm waiting for a plant effect. You give me one of them, and it's not trash, this goes up to C. Scouts, wait, Scout's Honor. Gas Mortar. Fully affects Gondoliers and Flying Overseers. Although Varicators can charge away from it, the Ground Overseers are sent from a higher power, so they just ignore the confusion because they're maintaining focus. Obtruders can get killed by it, but Snitchbot 9000 as well as them don't get confused, and Harvesters don't get confused. It's cool when it works, although it's a freaking hassle to keep alive. Maybe I'm just bad with mortars. It, to me, felt C tier. I spent close to an hour, if not more, looking for cool clips. Couldn't get them. The only one I have, really, is it killing those obtruders, which a simple AR can do the same thing. So, mortars just feel a bit lackluster on this subfaction. C tier. The final rankings look very strange if you compare it to my previous tier list for different factions, which is actually a good thing. It shows that there's a difference when facing the enemies. It's kind of a good thing, at least. It depends. For the rest of the items, here's a quick checklist, and I'll go over the things that I didn't include in the tier list for the most part. Beginning with the stratagems, barrages. They're good. I don't love them, so I didn't really talk about it. Didn't really have the passion for it, if you will. Napalm barrage, everyone brings that for the most part. I think it does okay, but I don't see the main allure. Eagle Strike has a line next to it. It's a very tentative take here, or pick here, because the explosive damage does nothing. Strafing Run. You can kill them decently well, but they tend to walk out of the direct hit. In cities, that will likely be a lot better, because you have the lanes, and they're just running straight at you. You won't have so many trees and obstructions that they have to walk over and whatnot. Quasar, Recoilless Rifle, EAT-17, Commando, C4, Spear, Breaching Hammer. And this is a different one, but Defoliation Tool. These were left out because they're simply not great against this subfaction. They essentially get hard countered. HMG and Machine Gun. I don't like them, dude. I believe they need the Holy Spirit. I didn't want to contact the Lord in this case. So I'm going to wait to talk about those in like a balanced video if I make it. But if you like it, use it. They do decent. Escalator. Can kill very quickly sometimes. Other times, not so much. It's very inconsistent. I think I've had times where I two-shot them. It's hard to know, though, because you're hitting a bunch of other stuff. The obtruders can hurt actually, they can one-shot the Gondoliers. So it's very difficult to know how good it is. Supply Backpack, Nuke, Warp, Jump. Those are good. It's pretty self-explanatory. Assault Rifles. I crossed out the Penetrator, 1-2, and Pacifier. And honestly, I don't like Assault Rifles. So I don't want to talk about them. Because it feels as though on this faction, especially on Overseers, they're just bullet sponges. And even a little bit towards the obtruders. You're spending so much ammo. You don't have any spare magazines. You're going to pretty much be forced to either take Siege Ready or a Supply Backpack, which I think is quite lame. Marksman Rifles, as a Marksman Rifle enthusiast, I don't think they're very good against Illuminate, especially not the Appropriators. Because the Jar 5 can sometimes one-shot the obtruders. Deadeye would probably be more consistent. The rest of it, not so much. SMGs. The loss of damage after a pretty short distance feels rough, and the lack of ammunition for the Stoker feels horrible, because the damage on it's actually pretty high, 130. I just can't get down with only 5 magazines, man. That is like a Supply Backpack angle for sure. It has to be. Shotguns. I don't really recommend them. Punisher Plasma. I like it for staggering Overseers, 2-shotting the flying ones, 3-shotting the ground ones, which is not crazy for the last part, but still nice, because you knock them back so they can't kill you. And it's instant. There's no waiting. You shoot, boom, an effect happens. That's pretty good, considering those ground Overseers, the Officer Earls, no body cam, baton wielding dudes, they will beat the brakes off you. And they won't let you get up. They won't let you get up, and they'll kill you. They just keep swinging. Purifier. One-shots the obtruders, which is cool. Ultimatum. It can two-shot the Gondoliers, which if you're running Supply Backpack, that's not too shabby. Is it, though? You take it at your own risk. Tight. And for grenades, Shield Grenade. I believe it has the same effect where if you shield yourself and get charged by a Vericator, it doesn't hurt you if you're in the shield. It also can potentially mitigate melee damage if they're far enough away. It's weird. Couldn't get into it, didn't have the clips to show, so I just didn't talk about it. Stun Grenade. They work. I still prefer Arc Grenades because they also can stun sometimes, and they can sometimes kill. That concludes the pseudo recommendations and what I find to be best, in some cases worst, against Gondoliers. Thank y'all for watching, and have a good day.